Trading Market Technicals morning call video for Friday, July 26. Market started off very weak, and actually right around about 10:30, 11 o'clock, we actually caught the low of the day, and market started rallying and actually turned green on the day. Dow Jones up 13, Nasdaq up 25, S&P up 4, Russell up 10. So what does that tell you? Well, it tells you that there are buyers of dips out there, and we had a 2-day, I wouldn't even say a sell-off if you want to call it that. We had a little blip to lower, and markets were bid up and actually closed positive today. Now we are down about $1.25 in the overnight electronic session in the E-mini S&P, but really that doesn't mean anything. It's relatively unchanged, so markets really haven't gone anywhere. We did get a little bit of volatility, which we were able to capitalize on, and that's what I said. You need to be diligent, and you need to really wait for these setups when you have this summer trading, because it is quiet, and there's no doubt about it. If you're in front of those screens all day, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So it is kind of quiet out there, but there are opportunities. And one, we've had obviously some earnings season, some earnings coming out, and we had some misses and some surprises. And yesterday, Amazon actually missed estimates, but their revenues were higher, and Starbucks exploded to the upside. I think up 7%, I believe, in after hours. So there are opportunities out there, and a lot of them, some of them don't pan out the way you should. But if you keep your stops in place and you manage your risk properly, you'll do fine. So today, what I'm looking for is, today is Friday. We all know that, and what happens usually on a Friday? Well, about 9:30 to about 11:30, even 12 o'clock, the markets are at its best, meaning that the best time to make money. Then after that, the markets are dead, and really it's not worth hanging around most of the day. So I'm looking for probably a push lower, if we even get a push lower, but more than likely finish green on the day. And the reason why is we've had, again, a blip to the downside, and I think the markets are ready to try to push higher one more time. We are at these areas where we are in a good area to bounce. We did talk about the dollar, and the dollar is starting now at getting into these support areas. That does not mean that it can't go lower. Dollar is trading lower right now in the electronic session as well. However, I'm looking for a big push in the dollar. Now, that could happen tomorrow. It could happen Tuesday, Wednesday. It's basically a wait and see, and I'm going to get right into that in charts with you. And this is why I say where I think that we might get a little bit of a bounce today. Of course, if anything does come out intraday, geopolitical event, just something really bad, then obviously the markets will sell off. We still are frothy and at these higher end of the ranges, so we could easily sell off 3, 4, 5, 6%, not saying in a day, and still be bullish. The markets look quite bullish in the long term. That has not changed. So why I'm thinking is that we get a little bit of a bounce today and then kind of reevaluate next week. And again, that's going to be based on the dollar, and I'll show that to you as well. But here's the NYMO. We recycled back to neutral. So we can really go either way with plenty of room to run either to the upside and or to the downside. And that's why I like to show you the NYMO, because it gives you an idea of where this market is. Is it overbought, or is it in the real short term? So the NYMO here, neutral. Okay. And here's another reason why I think that taking a look, I like to see where the worldwide markets are doing as a whole. And this gives you a good idea, the VEU, the Vanguard All World Index. And this gives you a really good snapshot of what's going on. We've actually took from the June lows, we ran all the way back up here, and now looks like we're kind of chugging along again. So this is actually looking quite well here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start continuing and get up to these upper end of the range here. Now this is the worldwide index. Okay, now let's talk about the dollar. And what I mean by the dollar is that I'm in this zone area, right? We're in this buy area, and I said all week I've been saying, watch the dollar. Now, the dollar is really where the clue comes in, and this is where I'm looking for the dollar to either base, or if it breaks down this area here, obviously your next pivotal low is going to be 80.50. Okay, so that's going to be the next spot, and then obviously we get down into the 79 area. And if that happens, if the dollar does break down, then you're going to have a push, a break above the all-time highs in equities and commodities. They will start running again. So this is why it's critical to look at where the dollar is going and monitor it intraday as well. So we're here now. We have, it looks like we have a weak dollar again, which is going to go well with commodities and equities. And this is why I'm watching here. If we can chop around and then start to really explode to the back to the upside, then I think that could put a damper on this short-term rally that we're having. Okay, but right now it looks good for another push higher, and that's why I'm thinking, you know what, we probably will get another push higher, at least retest the highs, if not make new highs, and then sell off. So that's what I'm really looking for. And the reason why is I'm looking at gold, and with the weak dollar, there's a weekly chart of gold now. This is going to be the end of week. We're getting into that short area range here, and this is why 38% comes in at 14.16, 14.10ish. So this is the area where I'm looking for that reversal candle to come into play. Now, again, this is a weekly chart, so we would need a push up probably next week, and then a reversal. And that's what I'm going to be looking for. I'll dial that down into a daily chart. Okay, so we are not there yet. We don't have a trigger to be short. Remember, the price can go up there and just continue to move higher. So we want a trigger. Once we get into the zone area, the sell zone, we want price to start rolling over and take out previous lows. And then we would look to enter short. Not until otherwise. And then obviously WTI, we had a nice long trade. And then I said to many people, I said, look, I'm looking to short this area here. Look to short at 108, 110 area. And the reason why is we had a pivotal high up in this area. And sure enough, rolled over at least 4 points. So hats off to anybody who took the short trade. Now, where do we go from here, right? So I've gotten quite a bit of a response of, all right, what do you like oil here? I don't. I think that oil could pull back a little bit more. And I'd rather be a little more patient and really see if oil can break this 20-day moving average and really get into that 100 or 102 area. And then that would be another area to start accumulating oil. I think oil goes much higher just because of the geopolitical event risk that we have out there with Syria, Egypt, the Middle East, and then of course, if the markets are doing well, people are traveling to the stores and they're buying more gas. So I mean, that's something that I am looking at. Now, obviously, things do change, but this is for what I'm looking at right now. So being short oil is fine. I think oil can go down to at least 102, 100, and then I would look to make that next higher low from this area here. I'm sorry, right up in this area here, and see where we go. Even the neckline here of this inverted head and shoulders comes in around 98. That would be a gift to buy it down here. I don't think that's going to happen. I think if anything, the 50-day moving average kind of creeps up into that 100 area, and then if we can get into the par area here, that's where I would look to buy gold. I'm sorry, apologize, buy crude oil. Okay. Now again, remember, that's also going to be off the dollar analysis, so keep that in mind. So when you're looking to trade these commodities, you got to really look at what the dollar is doing. Now, crude is selling off because it's overextended, really. It's not because the dollar. If the dollar was selling off really hard, then crude oil would continue to rise. But sometimes it's its own animal. So you just got to really understand that, pay attention to that. All right, so let's go into the charts. We have the spiders. And here's another reason why I say that I think that we really go higher. I mean, look, this is 2 days. We had a nominal sell-off 2 days ago, right? And then we had that little dip on Wednesday, and yesterday we had a reversal candle that caught this this uptrend channel. So there's no fear in the market at all. There is absolutely no fear. Oh, and you know what? I did want to show you. I wanted to show you the VIX. Speaking of fear, as you can see here, we had a 2-day pop up, and nothing really that to me that says, oh wow, we're buying puts because we think that there's going to be a large sell-off coming. So that's why I think that we would go up today, at least for today, and maybe even follow through going into early next week, and then reevaluate it. But I'd like to see this VIX come all the way down, break the lower end of the Bollinger Band, and then close back in, and then that would be the buy signal for the VIX and the sell signal for equity. So that's why I say that I think the market is really kind of done going down, at least for today and maybe even Monday. But we'll reevaluate it. Things change in the intraday basis here. So this is why I think that the markets really haven't gone anywhere. This is not even we're still way overbought here, as you can see. So the indicators haven't even unwound their overbought readings. So this is why I say that we'll probably give it one more shot to the upside, if at all, and then maybe start rolling back over, at least catch a 20 and a 50-day moving average in this long-term uptrend line, which is from November. Okay. Here is the diamonds. Diamonds, it really looks like it didn't even go anywhere. So Dow Jones is really holding up well. And again, you could see and say, wow, we were down a couple of days, but nothing really big. And that's why I say that that I think that we can really at least challenge the highs in the coming days. Now, this is the troublesome chart here, right? This is the transportation ETF, the IYT, and the IYT, to me, obviously is the weakest of the 5 that we follow, and it is one of our leaders here, right? Aside from the IWMs. Now, the IYT did catch the 20 and 50 and bounced back up in here and caught the low from the previous day. So I think that this is a good sign that buyers had stepped in to the transportation sector, and now I think that it's probably going to be on its way up again. And let's just get this guy right up in here. It's going to need to catch this long-term uptrend line from November as well, and then really start challenging the highs again. Now remember, the IWMs were making new highs, and the Qs as well, and then transports did not. So this is definitely one of the laggers, but it does play catch-up, as you can see here. So let's just keep an eye on the transports and see for additional clues if we are going to rally today. That's going to be a real good indicator if we're going to catch a bid in this market early this morning. And here's the IWMs. As you can see here, we had one day. Really, we had a small push lower on Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then on Tuesday, then on Wednesday, we had that move lower. That was the biggest move since, I think, early June, mid-June. And then we took 2/3 of that back. And again, that's why, if you see, look what's happened. It's a good gauge of risk here, right? The IWM is a good gauge of risk. So this is why I say, well, you know what? I really think that the markets will probably end up green by the end of the day today. And that's why I keep saying that, well, it doesn't give me much conviction that we're going to move further to the downside, because we took back 2/3 of the candle of the IWMs. If anything, the IWMs should be a little bit weaker, since it had such a move up like this, but not so. And this is why I say that we could be a little bit green. So that's what I'm looking for this morning. And here's the Goldman Sachs. Just want to show you about Goldman Sachs chart. Really caught the 8, which is a good momentum indicator, good momentum moving average. And now probably looking to challenge this upper end of this area here, this double top area. And here's the XLF. Same thing with that. We did break outside of this uptrend channel, but again, recaptured it ever so slightly on the close. And here's Apple. Apple is not doing anything wrong. I mean, it is definitely a little weaker. I would have liked to see a little follow-through from Apple, but unfortunately, Apple might be looking to take a little bit of a break here. And again, holding this trend line here, as you can see here. So we're back above it again, which is right to the penny. So Apple's going to need to take out the previous day highs, which is 445.85, call it 446, to really challenge this area here of 470. Okay, so if you are trading Apple, that's what we're going to need to do. If you take out yesterday's low, look for a gap fill, at least from its earnings announcement of 428. And then you're going to have to really be worried if you're holding a position, because if it does lose the 418 area, which is a big area, you're going to at least test the round lot number of 400, maybe even the 383, 386 area. Okay, so just keep an eye on that. And lastly is the Qs. Qs here just doing okay. I think big cap tech, it's sporadic, it's spotty. So we had some weak earnings, some good earnings. So I'm really not doing what it should be doing. And we would like to see, if you are a bull, you want to see tech follow as well. But just kind of hovering in here from that gap lower. So we have a little bit of a gap resistance up in this area, 75 area, 75.02 to 75.40, 75.50, call it. But if the markets really start to rally, I think the Qs will rally with it too. So just keep in mind some points for today. Look at. Have a great day. Enjoy the weekend, and we will speak to you first thing Monday morning. Take care.